And so he's interviewing Trump, and I can't believe that Trump is the only guy who can bitch slap a guy like this. Watch how Trump handles this guy. Watch this.
And going back to last June, is there anything you regret?
Oh, absolutely. I'd love to have done certain things over, but you can't. You can't. But that's true in life. I'd love to have done in life certain things over, I guess. And you would have too.
Give me one.
You would have loved not to have contributed to the Clinton Foundation, as an example. There are things that you wish you didn't do, okay? You came very close to the edge. You would have loved to have had that decision over again.
So here we see former President Trump clearly grabbing George Stephanopoulos by the pussy.
He did say let, by the way. He didn't say
they let you. That's right. He said they let you.
Pussy. He said they'll let you.
They'll let you.
The word let is very important.
Very important.
Because it seems
the
to
Scottsdale hello, it's been called for many years. A real rich guy said it to me.
What? I live in Scottsdale now.
Yeah,
So
it's
you
like
can-
Vegas and LA had a slow baby.
Yeah. So watch. And you know what he's talking about? He goes like, "You would like to not be. I wish you didn't donate $75,000." Watch this. So here, George Stephanopoulos discloses a $75,000 contribution to Clinton Foundation. Look at it. ABC News chief anchor George Stephanopoulos has given $75,000 to the Clinton Foundation in recent years, a charitable contribution that he did not publicly disclose while reporting on the Clintons and their nonprofit organization on the media blog has learned. And so here we see George Stephanopoulos give it $75,000 to a Clinton Foundation. And what is there to be possibly ashamed about contributing to an institution that has promoted human trafficking all around the world, created slave states, destroyed the economies of many nations? Don't focus on that. Focus on the reason he got the job to begin with, his Kennedy-like hair. So he's not embarrassed about that. I love how Trump just put it right back in his fucking face. How do you not cheer for that guy? In 2020, 2013, 2014, Stephanopoulos made $25,000 donations to the 501 nonprofit founded by former President Bill Clinton. The foundation's records show Stephanopoulos never disclosed this information to viewers, even when interviewing author Peter Schweitzer last month about his book Clinton Cash, which alleges that donations to the foundation may have influenced some of Hillary Clinton's actions as Secretary of State.
What?
On Thursday, Stephanopoulos apologized and said that he should have disclosed the donations to ABC News and its viewers. I made a charitable donation to a foundation in support of the work they're doing on global AIDS prevention. Oh, I bet you fucking were. And deforestation, because I care about that. I thought that my contributions were a matter of public record. However, in hindsight, I should have taken the extra step of personally disclosing my donations to my employer and to the viewer. You know the shit that you're supposed to do and legally required to by fucking law. Oh, you mean that kind of thing? Yeah, I apologize. Prior to joining ABC News, Stephanopoulos served as communications director and senior advisor for policy and strategy to President Clinton. He also served as communications director for Bill Clinton's 1992 campaign. ABC News later told on Media Blog that it would not take any punitive action against Stephanopoulos. We accept his apology, a spokesperson said. It was an honest mistake.
Like when that lady accidentally was going to smuggle those fake orphans out of Haiti that had parents still?
Yeah.
And then
Laura
they pardoned her
Silsby.
for an honest mistake.
Laura Silsby, who is now working for the Florida Amber Alert group, yeah, just so you know. And also the Clinton Foundation, which was helped started by Jeffrey Epstein. That was when he was found guilty in Florida. He basically he wrote the prosecutor a letter that said that he's helped form the Clinton Foundation with the Clintons, and he used that as a way to get a lighter sentence.
Well, you conspiracy theorists, here you go again, somehow conflating George Stephanopoulos donating $75,000 to the campaign he's supposed to be objectively reporting on. Isn't it amazing how much profit that a non-profit organization can actually fucking make? Isn't it amazing? Hundreds of millions of dollars.
If you take a look in 2019, people associated with the Clinton campaign, there were 5 different cases of child sex trafficking with associates of the Clinton Foundation. In 1 year, 5 different major people, from NXIVM to the John of God to Jeffrey Epstein to El Chapo gave money to the Clinton Foundation.
Did they find those missing kids in Lahaina, or did Oprah find a buyer?
$25,000 to the Clinton Foundation. I mean, that's at least enough for jet fuel to the Epstein Island. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the reason why I show you that is because I wanted to show you this. There's this woman, Nancy Mace. She's backing Trump, and a few years ago she came out and revealed that she was a victim of rape, and she felt a lot of shame about it, and it was hard for her to talk about it, but she did. And then George Stephanopoulos sticks it right in her face. Watch this. Watch this.
This is why women do not come forward. They are afraid.
Congressman, thanks for joining us this morning. You've endorsed Donald Trump for president. Judges and 2 separate juries have found him liable for rape and for defaming the victim of that rape. How do you square your...
First of all, they didn't find him liable. But the judge that was in that rape case is that guy that was the judge in the Steve Donziger case. Do you know what that case is? I covered it on the show. If you don't know, Steve Donziger was a lawyer who went and got $3 billion settlement against Shell Oil for them polluting, I think, in Ecuador or somewhere like that, and he won it against them. And so Shell Oil got that judge and they got him to put him on house arrest for how many years and for what? And they wouldn't get, we covered it. It was unbelievably fucked what they did to Steve Donziger, and he didn't do anything except win a $3 billion lawsuit against Shell Oil for polluting the native land of people down in Ecuador. And so that guy's the most corrupt motherfucking love. Of course that's the guy they got to go be the judge in this civil case for, wow, isn't that amazing? People, they don't tell you that, who the judge is. And so I just want to let you know.
Also, the case is stupid, and I don't believe the woman.
I don't.
E. Jean Carroll's a dingbat.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even the jury, literally, when it goes, did he sexually assault? They said no.
They said no, he didn't.
And
I know.
he's the judge who basically dropped the charges against Prince Andrews.
That's right. Again, why do you think they got that judge? Because he's the most corrupt. So that is want you to know that, okay? And now watch what George Stephanopoulos does to her.
Endorsement of Donald Trump with the testimony we just saw.
Well, I will tell you, I was raped at the age of 16. And any rape victim will tell you, I've lived for 30 years with an incredible amount of shame over being raped. I didn't come forward because of that judgment and shame that I felt. And it's a shame that you will never feel, George. And I'm not going to sit here on your show and be asked a question meant to shame me about another potential rape victim. I'm not gonna do that.
It's actually not about shaming you. It's a question about...
No, that is actually what he is doing. Just so in case you don't know, he's going, shame on you for being a victim of rape and now endorsing someone who this bullshit judge and this kangaroo fucking court said raped someone, even though they didn't say that. He is using that to shame her. Just in case you don't know that, that's what he's doing. And, okay, well, I'll let him play a little bit more, and then I'll give you a little bit more information on George Stephanopoulos.
Are shaming
You've endorsed Donald Trump for president.
Right.
Donald Trump has been found liable for rape by a jury. Donald Trump has been found liable for defaming the victim of that rape by a jury. It's been affirmed by a judge.
It was not a criminal court case, number one. Number two, I live with shame. And you're asking me a question about my political choices, trying to shame me as a rape victim, and I find it disgusting. And quite frankly, E. Jean Carroll's comments when she did get the judgment, joking about what she was going to buy, it makes it harder for women to come forward when they make a mockery out of rape, when they joke about it.
Doesn't it make it harder for women to come forward when they...
It makes it harder when other women joke about it, and she's joked about it. I find it offensive. And I also find it offensive that you're trying to shame me with this question.
I'm not trying to shame you.
You are.
Well, in fact,
I have dealt with this for 30 years. You know how hard it was to tell my story 5 years ago when they were doing a fetal heartbeat bill and there were no exceptions for rape, incest, or rape or incest in there? I had to tell my story because no other woman was coming forward. No rape victims were represented. And you're trying to shame me this morning.
I'm just asking.
And I find it offensive, and this is why women won't come forward.
Women won't come forward because they're defamed by those who perpetrate rape.
They are judged and they're shamed, and you're trying to shame me this morning. I think it's disgusting.
I'm not shaming you at all.
I've told my story. It took me 25
her.
years to tell my story. I was judged for it. I still get judged for it today.
I'm asking you a very simple question.
And I answered it. You're shaming me for my political choices.
I'm asking you a question about why you endorse someone who's been found liable for rape.
It was not a criminal court. It was a civil court. It was a civil court. And by the way, she joked about the judgment and what she was going to do with all that money, and I find that offensive.
I'm asking you
but
about
as a rape victim who's been shamed for years now because of her rape. You're trying to shame me again by asking me this political question.
You've repeated that again.
I think it's offensive. As a woman, I find it offensive. My political choices, I've endorsed the man that I believe is best for our country. It's not Joe Biden. And you looked at the dueling rallies yesterday in Georgia. Lincoln Riley's family was with Donald Trump. They weren't with Joe Biden. The same guy yesterday that apologized for calling her killer an illegal, who wasn't illegal. And here you are trying to shame a rape victim. I find it disgusting.
I mean, you keep saying I'm shaming you.
You are. The question, it is.
How is the question asking you about a presidential candidate who's
You're asking a rape victim.
And there's no question about that. And you've courageously talked about that.
Because I've been raped. I think that's disgusting.
No, I'm questioning your political choices.
No means no, George.
And you're trying to
someone who's been found liable for rape. Actually, I'm not
Keith's doubling down.
So he won't stop. And you know why? Because there's no rules when it comes to Trump. You can be the most disgusting motherfucker. You can weaponize the justice system to imprison and go after your own political opponents. You can say he's working for a foreign government. You can red bait him. You could do everything in the world. There's nothing you can't. There's no disgusting, despicable behavior that isn't allowed by shit-lib society when it comes to Donald Trump. And what he's doing is goddamn knows what he's doing.
It's the same thing.
He's using her rape against her.
No, and he's fucking insisting.
Yes.
And what about the fact that the woman that is the victim in the case said that rape was like sexy? You remember that? She was in it.
She said that on Anderson Cooper, and he immediately went to a break. There's a little bit more that he has to say here.
Exactly.
You're not answering the question.
I think it's disgusting.
Well, you're welcome to say that, but you have to answer the question. Why are you supporting someone who's been found liable for rape?
So she already answered it 3 times. She said that it was a civil case, it wasn't a criminal case. I don't believe in Joe Biden, I believe in him. And the victim, that Eugene Carroll mocked and joked about it. So she's answered that 3 times, and he keeps saying, you still have to answer the question, because she doesn't answer it the way he wants to. Oh, I feel ashamed, George, you're right. I feel ashamed for endorsing Donald Trump. That's because I was raped. That's what she wants him to say. Look, it gets better.
I just answered your question.
What is the answer?
He was not found guilty in a civil
for the third time
court of law. It was sexual abuse. It wasn't actually rape, by the way. And E. Jean Carroll joked about all the money she's going to get and made a mockery out of this case. And I think that's offensive. There's a reason why women don't come forward. And when you have someone who says that they're raped and they make a mockery out of this civil court judgment, it's offensive to other women. It makes it harder for other women to come forward when another woman has made a mockery of it.
You said women don't come forward because they are afraid. They are afraid
they're
because
judged and shamed.
By those
you're trying to shame me this morning.
They are afraid to come forward, as you said, because they are defamed by those who commit the rape. That's what Donald Trump has been found guilty of doing.
He defended himself over that and denies that it ever happened, but he was not found guilty in a criminal court of law. It was a civil judgment. So is that the distinction you're making? A civil judgment is okay, but a criminal judgment is not? This is different, and they didn't even input all of the evidence into the civil case either, because some of the information she provided wasn't even accurate or correct. But to sit here and ask me as a rape victim to try to shame me for my political choices is wrong, and I think it's offensive.
You can repeat that again and again.
And I'm going to, because I find it deeply offensive.
You don't find it offensive that Donald Trump has been found liable for rape?
I find it offensive as a rape victim that you're trying to shame me for my political choices. And I've said again repeatedly, E. Jean Carroll has made a mockery out of rape by joking about it. I don't find that funny.
Well,
rape is not funny.
You've made it
rape
perfectly
is serious.
You've made it perfectly clear.
Rape
you're comfortable.
is serious.
It is
it's
serious.
Not funny, and it shouldn't be made a mockery of. But if you want to defend a woman who made a mockery out of rape, then you go ahead and do that. I'm not going to do that.
Well, actually, what you're doing is defending a man who's been found liable for rape.
Liable? You keep saying liable.
That's not what he was found liable for.
This was a civil judgment over sexual abuse, not rape, by the way, and she made a mockery out of it.
Can we pull up the Washington Post headline right there? In fact, it has been shown to be rape. The judge affirmed that it was in fact rape.
That 100% corrupt judge
committed rape. That's just a fact.
That is a civil judgment, not a criminal court. They're two very different things, and you know better.
Well, I just showed you the facts.
You know better.
You show that you're very comfortable with what Donald Trump has done.
And what you've got is offensive.
So he says you're very comfortable. I love when he uses that. You're very comfortable endorsing Donald Trump. Well, you're very comfortable working for a guy who was credibly accused of rape, Bill Bill Clinton, who then went on to abuse his power and go after a 21-year-old intern and then slander and lie about that woman and ruin her reputation, and who's been to Jeffrey Epstein's island, and you're okay to vote for Joe Biden, who his own daughter is afraid to take a shower in her fucking house. He's also been credibly accused of rape by Tara Reid, and now she has to live outside the country. So if I was her, I would have turned. So you're comfortable with that, though? You're comfortable working for a rapist like Bill Clinton and a fucking war criminal like Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton and Bill? So you're crazy, and Joe Biden. So you're comfortable with that shit? So you're comfortable with that, right, George Stephanopoulos? So that's what she should have said back to him, because he's very comfortable working for cretins and murderers and war criminals and fucking rapists. He's done it his whole goddamn life.
Yeah. And he works on a channel, ABC News, that was caught killing the Jeffrey Epstein story.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly right. 100%. So that got me worked up, and I wanted to fucking show that, because I wish that guy was here. I would fucking punch him right in his fucking punchable face.
Believe all women as long as they believe what we believe. That's it, right?
Yeah, that's right. Believe women as long as they believe what we... And as soon as Tara Reid said that Joe Biden raped her, we didn't mean believe all women. We meant listen. We meant listen to them and then insult them and then hire a PR firm to smear them and make them live out of the height of the country. That's what we meant. That's what we mean when we say believe all women.
You know, George Stephanopoulos, he felt no shame during this interview.
None.
He just was ashamed at the end that he lost control of the interview.
Yeah, he did. Anyway, I fucking couldn't wait to show. I hate that. I wish Trump was there to grab him by the pussy.
If Monica Lewinsky hadn't saved that dress, she would have been destroyed.
That's
People
right.
to this day go, why would you save the dress? Because she was smart and didn't want to be killed by the Clintons.
That's right. That's right. If she didn't save the cum-stained dress, they would have completely... I did not have sexual relations with that woman. With that woman, he called her. The woman he was having an affair with. The 21-year-old intern he was having an affair with.
The coolest intern at the office, by the way.
That's right. So anyway, all right, let's move on. Hey, come see us do a live stand-up show. We're going to be in Stockholm, Amsterdam, Rotterdam, London, Oslo, Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, Cortland, New York, Oakmont, Pennsylvania, El Paso, Texas, San Antonio, Texas, Edmonton, Alberta, Vancouver, British Columbia, and Denver, Colorado. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for those tickets.